The Weather Channel, your hurricane authority.
Hurricane Dolly is hitting the south coast of Texas right now. Next on Weather Channel, who's in the danger zone and when it could reach even stronger strength.
And we have you covered, of course.
Hurricane Dolly hits the South Texas coast, not far from Port Isabel. I'm Dave Schwartz.
And I'm Vivian Brown. Of course, you've tuned to the perfect channel to get the very latest, of course, on Hurricane Dolly. We have you covered from the air and by the ground. We have our very own Jim Cantore, as well as meteorologist Mike Bettis. They are in South Texas. Jim is in South Padre Island, and Mike Bettis is in the Brownsville, Texas area. So let's go to Mike Bettis first and give us the very latest, Mike.
Well, here in Brownsville, we've had wind gusts that have been as high as 67 miles per hour. Now, getting a report of a 74-mile-per-hour wind gust in Harlingen, which we're talking hurricane force now, so we could see those. And one thing I've been noticing on the radar is that we've got another squall line that's setting up. It's coming right over Port Isabel right now in South Padre. That may be the most significant squall that we've seen with this hurricane so far. And that squall in particular may be putting down as much as 5 inches of rain an hour. And that's why we now have a flash flood warning for those areas. It includes Port Isabel. It's going to include Laguna Vista and Laguna Heights. It's going to include Holly Beach, and it's going to include South Padre as well. So big-time rain coming at this point, and that means that's going to exacerbate flood problems for us here across South Texas. In Brownsville, it's been a torrent of rain for the past couple of hours. Winds have generally been above tropical storm force the entire time, but it's this next squall line that we think could really be the knockout punch for us here. A lot of areas now without power. We're getting sporadic reports of...
Okay, we've just lost the signal. As you can imagine, the winds are blowing and lines are coming up and down. Jim Cantore also had to take it inside. He's on the phone. Let's see if we can get a connection with Jim. Jim, can you read us here?
Absolutely, Dave. It's not every day, buddy, you see like pieces of roof being blown out to the ocean. Just an incredible sight for the eye, guys. Everywhere you look, there's just debris everywhere, and a lot of it around where we can get, which isn't very far because the winds are still up here way too strong. Me and my cameraman, Don Hurst, just went out to shoot what we call a look live to kind of give you guys an idea after we come back on of what's been transpiring over the last couple of hours because our satellite dish has been taken down now for about 3 hours. There was this small building where we were going to shoot this was starting to come apart. So the debris hit his lens, and we just decided to kind of come back inside for the time being. So it's relentless. We have not seen a decrease at all in the wind and the rain. The only thing that's changed is the wind direction. So it just continues to howl out there. Mike was mentioning the rainfall rates, just as intense. We are seeing the same thing here. Power's been out now for about 4 or 5 hours. There's probably about 140 guests in the hotel. Some of them have gathered in the main lobby, and they seem to be doing okay. But, you know, like I said, we're just in the beginning stage of this thing. It's going to be a long night. There's not going to be any power restored tonight because this thing is just going to continue to slowly crawl its way onto the Texas coastline. Heck, I don't even know if the western eye wall has made it onto the main loom yet, guys. You can tell me that. But the debris is everywhere. Roofs are leaking. I would say 3/4 of our crew have had to move our stuff, if you will, in the room because the roofs are beginning to leak. So it's not a good situation here. And if this is just an example of what we're seeing in South Padre Island, guys, this could be one of the biggest hits in this area. It could be a direct hit, one of the worst ones since Beulah in 1967.
All right, Jim, when are we able to see you outside in the elements? Do you have any idea when you'll be able to get that satellite dish back up?
Well, because the winds have shifted around to the west-northwest, now they're coming right at our satellite truck. Because there are so many trucks out there, so basically they just parked everything together, much like you go to a play and they just valet all the cars together. So that's what it's looking like right now. We can't move the truck. We can't get it in a better position, and nor do we want to because the winds are still strong enough that it's a high-profile vehicle. It's a high-profile vehicle, and it could easily be tipped over with winds gusting still well over 70. Mike mentioned the Harlingen gust at 74. Wouldn't be surprised if we're up there still, possibly even stronger.
Good point.
Again, winds are offshore now. The wave action has decreased, so at least we've got less beach erosion going for us right now. But that's about it. This is going to be known for a very, very damaging wind producer, and we're going to be without power for a long time.
Well, hunker down there, Jim. We trust that you will be safe. You've lived through these many times. Thanks for that report. Now, further west, inland, the threat is not going to be, of course, from damaging surf, obviously. And it's really not going to be wind so much. It's going to be the rain. The rain here in deep South Texas and northeast New Mexico, Vivian. Over a foot of rain in some spots. When people lose their lives in landfalling hurricanes, it's the inland flooding that is the #1 killer.
No, absolutely. And in fact, for the next 24 to 48 hours, we will be dealing with just the residual moisture, of course, from Dolly once the center of circulation does make it totally onshore. And as Jim was alluding to, he thinks that the western eye wall is already onshore, and that certainly is the case.
Yeah. As
we could see on this radar picture. You could see that center of circulation right there, and it's coming onshore just north of the Brownsville area. And of course,